Doggone stick supervisor. I picked up this old four-wheeler the other day. Little Suzuki four-wheel drive. This one was built, I think, in 88, I'm guessing. I've got to check the serial number for sure, but I think it's about an 88. I used to work on these back in the day, so I knew a little bit about it. Got one tire that's leaking air. Needs the exhaust system fixed. I'm going to take it up in the forest. It has to have a resonator on it. But it had no power to it. And the guy said he was having trouble with the carburetor. They were pull starting it. These things have the optional pull starter under the seat. So first thing I did was figure out why the power wasn't working. And there's a couple fuses here and here in the mainline circuit. One of those fuses was bad. Of course the battery was bad, so I went and bought a new battery. So yeah, we got power. And can't adjust the idle on the carburetor. I did find a problem with the diaphragm at the top of the carburetor. They had it out of the groove and it was sucking air. So I fixed that and it did start and run, and after it warmed up it did sit there and idle kind of. It would die once in a while still. And now I'm going to pull the bowl off the carburetor and clean the pilot jet, because I'm sure that's plugged. It needs a boot. I don't know if I can get to it here. And that boot right there on the front axle is bad. The other side is still intact. It's been pretty much stored inside, so it's not in that bad shape for that old of a machine. And kind of the nice thing about these old machines like this is I do know how to work on them. That helps. So anyway, I'm going to clean that carburetor and then put it back together and see if it'll start and run like it's supposed to. One of the nice things about these old machines, you got two-wheel drive, and you got four-wheel drive, low, or no, this is the four-wheel drive lever, so it goes four-wheel drive, or two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, and four-wheel drive lock, so you can lock the differentials in. Then you got high range, you got low range, and then it has a super low range. So we're going to try all that out. I did try the transmission out a little bit that I had it running, and everything seems to work that way. The fellow said he used it for hunting, and then it set for a few years, and then of course gas goes bad in them, like we do. Dirt in the bottom of it, not too bad. Really nice, the pilot jet was not over tightened. Yeah, completely blocked. Yeah, T-block tight. That first spray sprayed me right back in the face. Kind of expected. That's the reason you wear safety glasses. You got that jet sitting down there and some carb cleaner. I'll let it soak for a little bit, and I'll try spraying it open again after a while. I've got the bowl cleaned up. Got the main jet, the pilot jet in here, soaking. Sprayed out the carburetor a little bit and it seemed to be okay. Plugged up there. I'll get that main jet and pilot jet put back in after they're cleared and put it back together. That is such a tiny hole. I may have to fire up my air compressor and see if I can blow through it. Maybe with the help of air pressure. I got the jet cleared. I can get it back in there. Hopefully that'll cure all its ailments here. I got that boot back in, and the clamps on it. A little tight. Take the air box loose and move it back a little bit. Makes it a lot easier to service that carburetor, but I didn't want to pull the rear fenders loose. I already have the front ones off. So let's try it and see if it runs.